How long's he been on line 12? Just now? Oh, he just called in. Okay.
He's been there a little while.
Has he?
A little while. But we have Kevin Nealon, so I figured.
Hey, two
Kevin
Kevins
Smith
is
could wait
plenty.
a little while. Kevin's just hanging out, probably smoking pot.
He probably doesn't even realize he dialed the number.
Yeah.
He probably just fucking fell asleep with a joint in his mouth.
Let's, if you could excuse us for a moment, feel free to
Do I need to step
right
outside? Or?
No.
No,
Do you know
not
Kevin?
at all. You know Kevin Smith?
Oh, yeah. I've met him a few times. I did a radio show with him in San Francisco once.
Oh, cool.
Hi,
Yeah, there's
Kevin.
Kevin Smith.
Huge SNL fan, so listening to Nealon go on, it's like porn. I memorized that backstage at SNL book backwards and forwards. Before I wanted to make film, that's all I wanted to do in life was write for Saturday Night Live, not even be on it. And when I went to college up in the city, I went to the New School for Social Research, Eugene Lang, for a semester. I'd skip classes, just go down to 30 Rock, and sit in the lobby and wait to be discovered.
I didn't know that.
As a writer, dude, with nothing on, no placard saying I'm a writer, just literally sitting there going, Lorne Michaels will know when he walks by.
I don't think you could be discovered as a writer just sitting there.
I was fucking retarded.
It's not quite like Cary Grant as a soda jerk.
These were in the days where I tried and then successfully completed sucking my own dick. So I wasn't using my head that straight. But Mr. Nealon, that was so thrilling to listen to. I would listen to fucking 10 hours of that.
Oh, thanks. I have about 9.5 hours on that.
Oh, fuck. All right. Well,
But, you know...
it sounds like Carvey has 10 hours. Can I talk to him?
Yeah. You know, getting on Saturday Night Live, a lot of people do ask me, they say, hey, how can I get on that show? And it is like trying to go out with a real hot woman.
Yeah.
You got to just ignore it, you know, and let it come to you.
Yeah, you gotta, I guess, have a radio show, make a lot of money, and that's the only way it'll happen for you. See, I'm talking about the only way I could get a girl. See, self-deprecating humor.
Well, you do great, Anthony. You do amazing. He does an amazing impressionist. I mean, the impressions are very important on that show. That's groundbreaking information by Jim Norton. Impressions are good on SNL. Back to you guys.
I'm always trying to...
Yeah, but Nealon had not only...
I've never heard of a college for social research. Is that where you went, Kev?
Yeah, I went to the New School for Social Research. That's where they do. It's over on 12th, I think it is. It's where they do the inside the actor's studio. I think shoots in their theater. And inside the New School, they had a couple colleges. One was called Eugene Lang. I think Parsons School of Design was also part of it at that time.
It was like a mall for colleges.
It was kind of like the mall. I went to the food court part of it all.
What were you hoping to achieve by going to that?
I just had to go to college. My brother and sister went to college, and, you know, that's what you're supposed to do.
I love the go to college just because you have to and have no idea what you're doing there.
It doesn't exist anymore. That thought process has fallen away.
Yeah.
Like that now, that whole generation has ceased to exist. The whole, like, well, you got to go to college to make it work. You know, and nowadays, that's not even the case.
So why do people go to college then?
Yeah, what the fuck?
Are there actually? Nobody wants to start life that early, man. No one wants to jump in the deep end of the pool. They're like, let me tread here in the kiddie end for a little while.
Yeah, the school end. Yeah,
totally. And why wouldn't you? Looking back now, it's just like, man, I wish I'd wasted more time in school.
Yeah, but you know what it is? Everybody.
It's not always a waste, to be fair. Before I get slit by every college. They're like, what do you mean I'm wasting? For some people, it is a waste. For some people, career education is not. For me, it would have sucked to sit around for another few years because I wanted to get going.
Everyone I know that is in college now, though, is freaking out. Like, I don't know one person that's going to college that isn't freaking out to the point of tears and like this is too much pressure and stress and that.
Well, because the illusion is shattered. Back in the day, it used to be if you go to college, you're going to get a good job.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people went to college. There was a good percentage that found out that wasn't even true back then. But now, there's nothing close to a guarantee you're going to get any job, let alone a quote-unquote good job, by going to college.
And you know, when you start off doing stand-up comedy, you have like an education, whatever, or you have a job to fall back on. You always say to fall back on. I don't think anybody's ever fallen back on that backup job.
Fall back on the trade.
Yeah.
I did some roofing.
Yeah.
I could always go back, go from comedy, go from doing Carson and, that to roofing.
Yeah.
No.
Well, you'll
jump off the fucking roof if it came to that.
I'm sure you know people too. Like I know guys that go back to from stand up to doing real jobs after 15 years. And I'm like, I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you fucking just relate to people like that.
I'm no stand-up, but I've always been prepared to go back to the regular world and stuff. And I know I could get a job at almost any fucking convenience store on this planet.
Oh, please. They'd love you there.
I'd be like, hire me for appearances at your convenience store.
Yeah, you'd go behind the register to be taught how to do it, and they go, no, could you just stand out in front?
Yeah, I'm like, no, seriously, I'm a good worker. They're like, we don't want you to work, fat boy. Just stand there and be laughing.
Stand by the door.
All right, right now you've lost your job. You can't do, Jim, you can't do stand-up anymore. What are you going to do?
Honestly, I don't know.
Lottery tickets?
Dude, I have nothing. I purposely didn't leave myself a safety net.
Lottery tickets or buying lottery tickets?
Buy lottery tickets.
I don't know. I have no comprehension of what I would do. I purposely said I dropped out of high school, so I have no backup plan.
You really just all eggs, one basket.
Yeah, I'd probably put on a little push-up bra, and I would just start filleting men. Not even for money, just because I was being a self-hatred spiral.
Is this part of the question, or just today?
Yeah, it was just something it was just a random thought.
How about you, Anthony?
Well, I was in the construction field. I did install air conditioning and heating systems.
So you could
much
do
like
that.
you're seeing here. But no, I would never do that again. I don't know what I'd do because I couldn't bring myself to be cutting a piece of sheet metal in an attic with an inept helper and go, guess who I used to be? Really, huh? What? That show. Yeah, you guys got in trouble for something once. Could you pass me that clinch collar? Yeah, great. Yeah, I'm on it.
When I first started doing stand-up on the road, I was working with Brad Garrett at this club in Oklahoma City. And we come into town, and nobody really knows who you are. I mean, I did a few talk shows by then. Maybe I did a Tonight Show. And we, they typically pick you up from the airport, and they bring you either to the condo or they bring you to the club, so you kind of check in, And so they bring us into the club, and we go to the receptionist in the office, and she goes, "Can I help you?" And I told her we were from the air conditioning unit. I'm from the air conditioning company because it's pretty hot in there. And she goes, oh no. She asked us. She goes, "Are you guys from the air conditioning company?" We said, "Yeah."
Sure, of course.
And she goes, "Oh, great." And we looked up at the ceiling, and I said, "Can I take a look? Let me take a look up there." We stood up on our desk. We're pushing papers all over the place. We're taking tiles off of the ceiling. We're saying, "Oh, this does not look good." We didn't know a thing about air conditioning.
Just looking in there, it's really bad.
This is bad. We're gonna have to shut down the room for about 3 days. Oh no, you can't do that. We've got the shows. Oh, who's coming in? Bill Garrett and Ken Nielsen. Nah, it's not going to work. We're going to have to take out all these ducks and put up some cinch tape. And we were just making up names.
She doesn't know either.
But that's what she gets for not knowing who we were.
Exactly. Two tall, cranky comics. That's great.
So we put some nice air conditioning in there, and then we made a couple of extra $1,000 that weekend.
It was one of the worst jobs ever because no one wants air conditioning in the winter. So you're in attics constantly that are 120, 130 degrees in the middle of the summer when they decide they want that. And then you're such scum of the earth that if you're sweating, you want water, and you just kind of poke your head down from that attic hole in a hallway or something and go, "Excuse me, can I have a glass of water?" And I swear to you, I've gotten the hose is in back of the house. And you have to get down from and
that's a bad job.
Walk out, and now you're just drinking out of the hose that's been sitting in the sun, so PVC and water is going into your mouth. It's wonderful job.
Hot water? What's worse than hot water through a fucking hose?
It's terrible. The only upside of it is now I absolutely get to treat all the people that work at my house like that, and I laugh. I'm like, work slob.
That's a bad job, but I bet it's not as bad as the jobs I've had. My worst job. Kev, what was your worst job?
My worst job, I worked at a cemetery, and the backhoe went out, and I actually had to hand dig some fucker's grave.
Holy
Jesus!
Right
fucking Night of the Living Dead.
It was bad, and right then and there, I was like, I gotta get funny for a living.
That is pretty bad. I thought I had the worst one.
It blows. I can't put fuckers in the earth. There's bad karma to that.
Old school grave digging. Wow.
Yeah.
Between that and an Italian bakery I worked at for about an hour, I can't stand fucking Italian desserts like that cannoli shit.
They are awful.
And I don't know why I got a job. I think it's my mother's like, somebody needs help there. She'd been in there, and she's like, they had a help wanted sign. You better get in there because you can't just sit around the house all summer. And I went in.
Watch me.
And they looked at me. I was coming them through the door like a heavy kid, and they're like, "Oh, fucking great." but they had no idea. I got back there, I was like, "Oh my god, I hate all this shit so much." It's the only kind of like sweet or dessert I can't get my head around. It's like that diabetic candy to some degree. So I was just like, at one point they were like, "We need you to go pick up milk." I was like, "All right," and I went to pick up milk, just never came back.
Never returned.
No.
Like Hamilton delivering the fish to
Yeah,
IBM.
you're like Hurley's father.
When I first got into stand-up, I worked for Manpower. It was a temporary help agency.
The temp place.
Yeah. So you would work these crappy jobs during the day, but you had your nights off, and you made just enough to pay the rent. Which of these three jobs did I have?
Okay.
Okay, multiple choice.
All right.
Car leasing company, delivering cars to the stars, cleaning dog crap off of mufflers, or department store Santa Claus, or making donuts at Dunkin' Donuts.
That is really...
Wait, are you East Coast or West Coast?
West Coast, but
I'll eliminate Dunkin' Donuts.
well, I did. That was one of the jobs, though. Wasn't Manpower, though. But that was a good elimination right there.
I was trying. I was like Sherlock Holmes in it. But
You were.
I don't know.
Okay, so it narrows it down to a department store Santa
Yeah.
Claus, delivering cars for car leasing company, or cleaning dog crap off of mufflers in a warehouse.
You don't really have the physique for a department store Santa, even though I know they stuff
Got to
those
remember, I was
things
23
up,
at the time.
23.
24, 23.
But I'm going to say it's cleaning dog shit off mufflers because that's too obscure a job to make
It
up.
really is an odd job.
Well, the answer is all of them. I did all.
Oh, that was really,
Plus
there was
many
no way
more.
to win that one.
Yeah. But department store Santa Claus, I worked in San Diego, which is right over the border from Tijuana. And I was a skinny Santa Claus. I looked like a kid with a beard. And
was everyone asking for citizenship?
Yeah. What would you
know.
like?
They-
A
they-
hiding place?
they weren't speaking English. That's the problem. I mean, these Mexican families would come over with their kids. They were dirty from Tijuana, and they had no wonder they were peeing on my lap, and they Scotch guarded the Santa suit because it would just bubble up on the suit because this happened before, I guess.
Beads up and rolls off.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. And the cleaning the dog crap off the mufflers, that was like the guard dogs.
How does it get on the mufflers?
The guard dogs, and it was in a basement somewhere, and there was these tight little shelves you had to crawl up on, and the dog crap had been there forever, and there's mold on it, and you had to clean all that up.
Wait, how would it get on the guard dogs for the car lot, you mean?
No, where they stored the mufflers. This muffler shop.
Oh, okay.
An auto body part, I guess it was. But then the Dunkin' Donut one, though, that I wanted to buy a Marshall amplifier when I was like 17.
Yeah.
And I was working as a lifeguard at the time. He didn't make any money. And I thought, I'm gonna apply for this job at Dunkin' Donuts. We make donuts at night from 10 to 5 in the morning, and then to be a lifeguard during the day.
Jesus.
But all I needed was like $500. And so finally the general manager interviews me. You know, I'm next. And my plan is just to work 2 weeks, make enough money.
And you're out of there.
I'm out of there. I'm gone. And so he interviews me. It's a nice interview. I think I'm going to get hired. Then at the last minute, he goes, "Now, you're not going to just work a couple weeks and then quit on me, are you?" Because I guess a lot of people do that.
Wow, yeah.
And I thought, oh, my God.
Marshall amps?
He had me pegged. And then I told him, I said, no, this is what I want to do. I want to make donuts.
This is a career.
This is it. And I see the guy making donuts, and he's got burns all over his arms, from the grease.
It's been there a while.
Yeah.
Oh, battle wound. So what happened, 2 weeks?
So I worked 2 weeks and quit. Never got the money for the amp.
Oh, wait a minute. He didn't...
He hired me. I didn't tell him, I was going to quit.
You didn't get paid, though?
I did get paid.
Oh, okay.
But I didn't make enough money.
Oh, not enough? I thought maybe you were too, bashful to tell him that you were quitting after 2 weeks, like he said, and just didn't show up.
Yeah, no.
Keep the money. I'm sorry. I'm an asshole.
I did work a job once at Sikorsky Helicopters in Connecticut.
Now, that sounds like a cool job.
It does, but I was working in the factory. I was sanding blades and refurbishing blades. And I said, my foreman goes to me, after about a year there, he goes, what's a young guy like you do working in a place like this? I said, I'm just working to pay off my college loan and to get some travel money to go to Europe. And he looked at me and goes, yeah, that's what I said 20 years ago. And that scared me so much, man. I got out of there the next year.
Goodbye. That's
20 years later, I was out of there.
20 years later, I left. That's what happened with the sheet metal work, with the air conditioning stuff. I'd see these guys, they were 60 years old, still climbing rickety ladders and cutting themselves on what amounts to giant razor blades, these pieces of ductwork. And it just about brought me to tears. I said, I can't, I'm not this guy. I don't do this.
Yeah.
I swear I have some type of talent. Get me the fuck out of here.
And there's still a lot of guys like that working those jobs now that could be great
I always
entertainers.
said I think the greatest singer in the world is like a farmer somewhere in the Midwest, and the greatest comic is working at some machine shop somewhere that just never got the break.
What's the worst thing for me is when people who come up, they're like 35, and like, yeah, you know, man, cause I started when I was 21. They're like, you know, I wanted to start when I was like 19. I just thought of it, and I never did. And it's like, oh, thank fucking God I tried it. That would have been me.
You'd have been that guy.
It's heartbreaking when I hear guys in their 30s and 40s who just never try. It's like, you know, just do it.
Yeah.
That's all the only advice you can give them.
Starting early is an absolute help because at the end of the day, look, if it hits, if it takes, then you're leading this bucket of win life way earlier than you anticipated. But if it takes a few years, then you tend to appreciate it more and or turn it into bitterness later on.
Yeah, exactly. At least you can make other people's life miserable.
Exactly.
But I
That's
swear
something I've never understood, and you see it a lot in this business, particularly with like actors, because actors face so much rejection on a regular basis, and usually years of it in a row. Everyone's always telling them, no, you're not this, you're not this, you're not this. And then you would imagine when somebody finally says, you're the one, you're right, and they get tapped, and let's say they make it into that elite 10% or something like that, that it would be slobberingly grateful gratitude and appreciation you'd always ever hear out of their mouths. But just like a human being, just like all human beings, as soon as you get accustomed to something good, you start fucking finding its faults.
Yeah.
Just like somebody, you know, is just like, I'm tired of fucking Julia Roberts. There's always going to be a point where you're just like,
I say
don't
that all
care
the
how
time.
Yes.
good everyone says it is or how good I thought it would be. It's just, it's now based on how I entered into my new matrix. I'm not as appreciative for it anymore. So you read so many and meet so many actors who are just like bitter and want to like make other people's lives on set miserable because of the shit they went through for 10, 15 years of their lives.
Names. Come on, Kevin. Oh man,
Well, I think he's
that wasn't just that wasn't just some odd
I'm sweating
observation
now. I'm
Kevin was
sweating,
making.
man. I'm sweating.
That was from experience.
Do you know what a dick you have to be to upset Kevin Smith?
Totally.
Yes.
It takes a lot I think to kind of hit me in a way. The people I've worked with hit me in a way where I'm like, oh my God, you fucking intolerable dick. And there are people I've worked with a person who was just the absolute absence of passion whatsoever. And I know people like passion; they get paid to do a job. Any job that involves you getting up in front of people or making pretend for a living or making movies or making entertainment of any sort of way, shape, or form requires a degree of passion to get you past everyone else to do it. Because otherwise, everyone would do it. But not everyone wants to do it. They don't have a passion for it. Some people just like to watch it. But some people like to do it. And if you like to do it and you've kind of got enough passion for it, you've got to bring that to work. I worked with somebody who had no passion, one of the most passionless human beings I've ever met.
Male or female? I know you can't say, but was it male or female?
It was
Male.
Jim Norton. Come on.
It was so fucking scary, man, because you're like, there's a couple $1 million on the line whenever you're trying to make a movie, and nobody wants to make a bad movie. But when you've got that much money riding on it, you want everybody there wanting to be there, wanting to see it accomplished.
What are some of the things that show you like, oh my God, that person just has no interest in being here or doing this?
Okay, when you're setting up a shot, when you're shooting a sequence, and I know this is weird to do orally or over the radio because it'd be so much easier to point and shit, but try to bear with me. I'll try to build a little word picture.
You
Kevin,
you kind of have a talent for telling a story there, Kevin. It's okay.
Let's say I'm standing next to Kevin Nealon.
You lost me. What's happening?
In the physical space of time, I am standing next to Kevin Nealon. Kev, and I say, Kev, there's your mark. The mark is kind of where Kevin has to stand in order to be captured by the cameras. So if he's standing to the left of the mark, he's off camera. So you need the actor to hit the mark. So I'd say, Kevin, there's your mark. You're going to hit that mark, and you're going to say some shit, and that's it. We're done. And then you say, okay, action. And Kevin goes 20 feet to the left of the mark. And then you go, maybe it's me. Maybe I didn't explain myself correctly. And then you say, cut. You go over and you go, I'm sorry, Kev. I didn't mean over there. When I said the mark, I meant this mark right here where all the cameras and lights are pointed. And he goes,
Where the cameras and lights are pointed.
Inside the studio.
And then Kevin would go, okay. And then I go back and I go, action. And then Kevin walks 15 feet to the right of the mark. And then you're like, okay, is he Is he mean or just willfully retarded at this point?
Wow.
And then you go over, you say, cut, and you go, I'm sorry, dude, maybe I didn't, it's here, it's right, this is the mark. Oh, okay, I got you. And then you go back and you kind of wipe the sweat off your brow and kind of smile awkwardly at everyone around the monitors who are like, what's going on? And then you say, action. And then he just walks over to the craft service table.
Oh, man.
And then you
Wait,
realize
on action?
you'll do that. I'm not lying. You'll do that 4 more times before you realize what he basically wants is for you to go wherever he wants to go. So basically you're like, okay, that actor's going to set the market, ladies and gentlemen. Let's readjust as soon as he lets us know what it is. Like somebody who's literally working against the production, just sitting there to be like, how can I fuck with it today?
Really?
That kind of passionless piece of shit. You get to work with that person, you appreciate any actor.
I know who
or
you're
any
talking about.
filmmaker,
I would
cast, crew member,
love
anybody
to
who
know.
wants to be there, you suddenly appreciate more than anything in life.
Wait,
Even
now,
if they're not good at their job, the fact that they come with passion to do it
Right.
and a willingness to learn, I'd take that 1,000 times over the person who steps on the set who's just like, yeah, I'll be here. I'll do it when I want to.
did you argue with this person? Because Kevin's a very easygoing guy on set. I mean, I can't picture you ever being rude to anybody or shouting. Did you argue with this person?
I couldn't. That's not in my fucking makeup, and that's what I believe that person wanted. Some people you meet need drama, need to create drama to create drama. Like they need to literally create some fucking off-camera drama so that they can go and take that onto the fucking
Oh,
set,
it's part of the
onto
process.
the camera. Yeah, they're like, hey, man, that's my process. This dude wasn't even that. I mean, if it was that, I could deal with it because it's like, hey, man, it's wacky, but at least this person's giving me
Yeah.
gold.
I know who you're talking about. Okay. I
Fucking
got
Ben
it.
Affleck, man.
man.
You're right.
Wow.
Ben, how
Fuck
dare
that
you?
guy.
And they say he's a good director now. Well, fuck it.
Yeah, right?
Do you know what gets me?
Did you see The Town?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
He did a fucking awesome job.
Yeah,
Awesome.
where'd he learn his shit? Where'd he learn his shit,
Definitely
Kevin?
Not for me, because I saw that picture. I was like, where'd you learn your shit?
But he was off frame a little bit. You know,
Oh,
I noticed
oh.
he was off frame a little bit here and there.
yeah.
You know what gets me too is when people are surprised that somebody's nice.
Kevin Nealon, that's no way to get a job in Ben Affleck's movie. Telling him he's off frame and shit.
I'll never get a job in one of his movies.
Sure you will, man. You're fucking Kevin Nealon.
Do that? Yeah.
Yeah.
He actually offered me, there was a role that he wanted me to do and I couldn't do it.
Lying.
You're right. Just felt good to say that.
You know, and it always surprises me when people are like think somebody's a nice guy in the business and they're surprised by it. You know,
Yeah.
It's like, you know, this guy, you know, Kevin Smith, he's a nice guy. He's really. Well, why shouldn't he be?
Really?
You know?
Nice guy. Kevin.
Yeah.
Really?
It's like this.
In
Yeah.
my opinion, they should all be nice guys and
Exactly.
girls for what they're... When someone says to you, you're going to be able to make pretend for a living. You know what your job in life is going to be? The same shit you did when you were 9.
Right.
And
Yeah.
you get to dress that way as well. That's a win. Like, why would I ever be bitter? Why would I ever be fucking
Yeah,
like...
you want a huge portion of what is the life lottery.
Yes,
You know?
yes.
And you...
The lucky few, man, where it's just like, here's a bunch of money. Go make some shit up.
Yeah.
Hey,
have
Kev,
some
I want,
fun.
the dude blows a donkey. Like, very good, very good.
Hey, Kev, what was your first writing job?
I wrote Clerks. I mean, I never got
That was it,
job,
huh?
really. It was. I mean, I guess the first time I was paid to write something was on Mallrats.
Right.
Really?
Because Clerks I wrote for nothing and we shot for nothing, and then I went and pitched Mallrats to Universal after we went to the Sundance Film Festival in '94, and they bought it and so they paid me to write it. I think I got paid like, let me think, $75,000 or something. And this
Righteous
was back in
bucks.
95 though. And I was like, I would have sucked a dick for that money, man.
Oh, what
I
if...
was just like 75,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? What?
I'd still pop a cock in my mouth for 75 G's. Hey, who was in the film you just did now? What is what's the name of the film?
Red State. Oh, we just fucking finished it. It's the tits, dude. This is the hands down the best flick I ever made.
Really?
It's so fucking good. Yeah, it's this little horror movie we made. I can't wait to show. We submitted it to Sundance, and hopefully we'll hear back.
Who's in
soon. It's this dude named. There's a bunch of people, but I'll focus on one. We got Michael Angarano, who's a teen actor. Not a teen. He's in his 20s. Kyle Gallner, this dude Nick Braun, this chick Carrie Bechet. Melissa Leo, who was up for an Oscar a couple years ago for Frozen River, not last year, the year before. She's in this movie, The Fighter, that's coming out. She's been in tons of stuff. She was on Homicide. She's one of the most respected actresses in the business. John Goodman, who's just dynamite in the fucking flick.
I saw John Goodman the other day. He's lost about 200 pounds.
Yeah, he's really he's pretty. I mean, he doesn't look like he did for the last few years.
I hear he doesn't stand on his mark though.
What's that?
I hear he doesn't stand on his mark though. And
John Goodman's the opposite. John Goodman now Kevin Nealon backed me up. When you're making a TV program or a movie, generally speaking, they'll have somebody as a stand-in for you.
Yeah.
Somebody where it's like Kevin's on a set and he's like, I don't want to stand here while you light the shot. I want to go over there and text. And they're like, well, you go over there and do that. And then they bring somebody in to stand where he's going to stand on that mark that I was talking about before, where they're lighting and aiming the cameras. And then after about a half an hour of setting up that shot, the stand-in is replaced by the person who's going to be in the scene. He's like, thanks, man. And then the dude takes off. That's a real job. That's a fucking actual job.
And then eventually...
John Goodman stands in for himself. John Goodman just hangs out on the set all day long. He's like, I'll be here. I'll do it. And he just stands in for himself, so he gets himself lit. He is a fucking dream. And then, like, he opens his mouth in the middle of a fucking take, or at the start of a take, and everything he says, he's such a fucking pro. He's been doing it for so many years. It falls out of his mouth. He throws dialogue away, and you're suddenly like, this dude ain't acting. Like, he's literally having this conversation. Like, it's watching a pro work. Somebody who's been doing it for years and years. It's fucking amazing.
My dream is that one person talks about me this way once.
But the big guy and the big gun in our movie is Michael Parks. He plays our baddie, Pastor Aben Cooper, because the movie's about religious fundamentalism.
Michael Parks, man. Holy
Michael Parks,
shit.
He is so fucking...
Then came Bronson, motherfucker.
Exactly.
Yes.
If this dude don't win an award off this movie, there's no justice in this world. He is astounding in the movie.
And
he plays this Aben Cooper character, this
cool.
pastor from this church, and he's a dude who, if people don't know the name, he was in a lot of Robert and Quentin stuff more recently.
And
he always played
great
Sheriff
parts
Earl
in those,
McGraw
yeah.
whenever he comes out and he's hanging out with his kid, and, well, son number one, the older dude, that's Michael Parks. He fucking drops an anvil on him, and it's crazy. It's one of the 5 best performances I've ever seen in my life.
His dialogue at the beginning of Dusk Till Dawn inside that liquor store was
that's why I wrote this
fucking
movie.
fantastic.
I saw that in '95. I went to this sneak screening that Dimension was having, and Bob Weinstein was like, "Come watch this movie. Come watch Robert and Quentin." And I went and saw it, and the first 5 minutes, 10 minutes, is the scene in Benny's World of Liquors, and it's Michael Parks as the sheriff.
Yeah.
And he is, for me, I was fucking like captivated. It was love at first sight. I was like, that's, the way this dude's delivering dialogue, I've never heard anyone deliver dialogue like that before.
It was
like,
so low key, but like
you
were completely fixated on it.
I loved it. Right then and there, I was just, and then he dies in the first.
I know, and then he's just out of the movie. It's like, what the fuck?
And I was just like, I can't do this, man. I can't not work with this man. Like, that dude is fucking astounding. What would it be like to do a whole movie with him? And so 15 years later, I finally figured out what it was, because I didn't write movies that lent for money. You couldn't put Michael Parks in fucking Chasing Amy, you know?
No.
It'd have been weird, but this movie you could absolutely put him in. And I finally found something.
Oh, that is cool, man.
Drop him into. But can I tell you a quick story about
Sure.
casting dude? So I was trying to explain to my wife. She's like, who's going to play that part? And I was like, this dude, Michael Parks. And she's like, who is he? And I was trying to explain it. And I was like, let me just show you from Dusk Till Dawn. And I bring the DVD into my room. I got this big 103-inch television player. I sound like I'm from the 50s.
Television player. I watch my stories on it.
So I've got a big Blu-ray player attached to it as well. Pop the DVD in, and so basically you're watching a cinema-like presentation of From Dusk Till Dawn. And so we watched the first 10 minutes and shit, and I turn it up because I like my shit loud. And so after I pause it because the kid comes in the room, Harley, and the movie's a little grown up and shit. So I pause it, don't want her to see it, and we were like, "What's up?" And she's like, "The police are outside." And I said, "What?" And I look out the window, and I see a cop is talking to Raina, our housekeeper. And so I go downstairs, but before I go downstairs, I kind of go over to Jen. I'm like, "What should we do?" And she's like, "What do you mean? They probably have nothing to do with us." I said, "They're talking to Raina." And I look back at the window, and Raina points, and the cop looks up at me, and I wave at him because I don't know what else to do. And he goes, "Do you live here?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Get down here right now. Get down here." And I said, "Okay." And we had just had some Baja Fresh delivered. And I felt weird. I felt scared because, as we all know, I like to imbibe in this house from time to time.
Uh-huh.
So suddenly I was like, what's going to, and I had just imbibed fairly recently. I said, what's going to make me look the most low-key and casual? And I grabbed a container of Baja Fresh chicken that I just bought and took it downstairs with me. Opened the door, and the cops do that thing where they take one step backwards, put one hand on their hip and one hand extended forward.
Holy shit! What the
And there's
fuck?
two of them at the door, and I'm in the doorway, and it's my kid behind me, and she had two friends over, and my wife's behind me. And I just saw Raina as I was coming to the door. I was like, Raina, what did the police want? She's like, oh, I don't know, Mr. Kevin. Everything's okay. She doesn't speak much English. So I was just like, all right, open the door. Cops, hands on hips and shit. My kid goes all wide-eyed, and the cop goes, how many people are in this house? And I go, I didn't know I was going to have to do math that quickly. So I was just like, well, it's me, this one. I said, there's about 6. He goes, dude, why don't you step outside? I need you to step outside right now. I was like, okay. And I'm still holding the chicken. He's like, what's that? I was like, chicken. And he goes, what's going on? Who's in this house? And I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, we got a call from somebody. Some neighbor or something said that there were screams for help coming from inside the house.
Oh, man.
And I go, honestly, I have no idea what you're talking about. I said, we're the only ones here. I said, my friends, my kids' friends are over. I said, me and the wife were just about to have some Baja Fresh. As you can see, I'm holding chicken right here.
As you can
And he
see.
goes, and then one of the other policemen goes like, no, it wasn't a neighbor. Somebody walking down the hill called it in. And the guy goes, oh, because at first they were implying that the call was coming from inside the house. And I was like, wow, this is like when a stranger calls.
Yeah, no shit.
But I was like, somebody walking down the hill. He's like, yeah, they said that somebody was crying for help out the windows. And my kid is like breaking down at this point, man. She just starts like getting sobby and shit because
man.
she's never seen anything like this. And
Yeah.
it's just like the police are like, get out of your house, little kid. And the whole time, like, she's upset for one reason, I'm upset for another reason, because I'm like, did I leave a joint upstairs in that ashtray? So they're coming into the house to kind of look around because of this phone call they got. And I go, officer, wait, by any chance, are you guys here looking for the Gecko brothers? And he's like, what do you mean? I was like, I got a 103-inch television upstairs, man, and I was just playing the opening scene from dusk till dawn. That, too, is kind of a hostage situation. There's a lot of screaming. And the cop, he was older, he looks to the younger cop, he's like, is this true? And the younger cop goes, yeah, it was the best part of the movie. And he goes, all right, well, let me just take a look inside. And they walked into the house and looked around a little bit, and they were like, okay, everything seems to check out. And I was like, thanks so much, man, thank you. And you know, he was like, I'm sorry we bothered you, I'm sorry. Like, I said, dude, if that's your response to something like that, I'm more than happy to you know, be involved. You guys were great. Now I feel super safe if something ever does happen. You never have to apologize about coming in here. And so they left, and I closed the door, and my wife is looking at me with wide fucking eyes, and she's kind of breathing heavily now, and I'm like, so yeah, that's Michael Parks who's going to be in our movie.
It'd be funny. Cut to later, all the cops are sitting there eating chicken with them, watching the whole film.
They stayed outside for like 5 minutes, though, man. Like they were like, well, we kind of believe what he says. I like the fact that they came in the house because for all they knew, there's somebody standing behind the door with my kid with a gun to their head.
Yeah.
Right.
And then they leave.
They were like, they didn't buy my whole, like, they started like getting in my kid's face, not in her face, like yelling at her, but they were just like, what's your name, honey? Who lives here? And I was like, that's my daughter. I was like, I'm not asking her. Not asking you, sir. I'm asking her. Because they want to make sure that I'm not, like, I answer the door in a robe. I'm carrying a fucking fistful of chicken.
You're not the bad guy.
Yeah, I could be the dude that was in there being, hey, everybody, this is my house now. Like,
By the way, how is the Baja Fresh chicken? Kev, how was that Baja Fresh chicken?
that Baja Fresh chicken is amazing, Kevin. It's worth facing down the cops for.
Yes, with their hands on their hips and their front hand out.
Hey, man, can I pitch a gig real quick?
Sure.
Please do.
I'm doing a gig that I've always wanted to do because I grew up on the East Coast and shit, and I've always heard of this place and never got to even go there, let alone play there. I'm going to the Westbury Music Fair.
Oh, wow.
Oh, on Long Island.
They probably don't even call it that anymore.
No, it's like it went through 8 bank names,
Yeah.
and I don't know what it's called right now.
It's the theater in Westbury, maybe. I'm not quite sure. But
It's called
growing up,
Eastbury
I
now.
always heard, like, every you saw a commercial, they would be like, and the Westbury Music Fair. And it just sounded so celebratory. It sounded like a Renaissance fair.
Yeah.
So, I'm finally playing there, man. I'm going there 2 weeks from Sunday. I think it's December 5th.
What are you doing there?
That's going to be
I'm just doing that
huge.
Q&A shit that I do, stand up and talk to people for a while.
You will absolutely sell that room out. It's a theater in the round.
I don't know. Right now I'm at half capacity. I think I'm at like less than half. I think I'm at 600. So
Yeah, but don't forget, it's a weird. This is a weird holiday.
The Long Islanders, the last minute motherfuckers.
Yeah, you'll do great there.
Some of them will come after your show.
Buy these tickets, folks. I want to go to this thing. I can't. I want to make sure it happens, man. It's always been. Do they have a? Does the stage turn?
Yeah,
It
it's
does,
in the round kind of
I'm
a
gonna
thing.
get like a workout while I'm actually doing my shit.
No, you can
like a
just stand there. Either you get a workout or you get dizzy. One or the other. You got to either keep your focal
Get really
point
stoned and then get dizzy and just pass out on
yeah,
stage and shit.
yeah. That's pretty much it.
That's what we call the Peter Finch.
Before we let you go, I want to talk about the Smodcast. It's
Yeah.
Saturday, 2 p.m., episode 145. It's Twin Pines Mallrats.
We're doing a whole. Yeah, we did it. They're running on XM this weekend. They're running the episode of Smodcast that we put up last week, and it's pretty much all about Back to the Future and Michael J. Fox. So you'll
Back to
fucking
the
love
Future.
it.
I know. Me and Danny did a Back to the Future show once a while ago. We actually had people sync it up. We played it and commented on everything, sort of a Mystery Science Theater.
Yeah, it was kind of like doing a live riff tracks.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It,
we
was
mostly
cool.
did like fucking Doc Brown, like Marty responding to the asshole line. That's what we became obsessed with. When he's just like, "What, have my kids become assholes?"
Asshole?
And then instead of going back in time, he's just like, "Well, you're a doctor. Give her an abortion."
Hey, Kevin, let me, if I could ask you,
No asshole kids, doc. Get your hands in there.
I got to apologize for not hearing the Smodcast that you did of the Back to the Future, but is there any talk about how Doc is just basically a lunatic? Like he's a madman with a suicide plan?
No, but that's kind of it. I mean, why talk about that? That's part of the plot.
A lot of the right. A lot of the shit coming up since it's the 25th anniversary, and they've been doing so much. 25th, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. They've been doing so much publicity with it, re-releasing the movie and everything. A lot of people have come up with these new theories that I don't know what to make of them. One was that Doc Brown, at the very beginning of the movie, knew exactly what was going to happen the whole fucking time.
Yeah.
Like, he already had the vest on. He knew Marty was going to go and take the car from the
But he didn't.
Yeah, but
have
he
the
didn't know
vest-
that yet.
But he didn't have the vest on in the beginning of the movie.
No.
He had the vest on after all the events happened, so he would have that knowledge after Marty would write the letter.
Yeah, but wouldn't he?
In the beginning of the movie, no vest. End of the movie, he does have.
No,
Wouldn't he have written it already?
no, he didn't, and I'll tell you why.
All right.
Because
Tell me, Danny.
Because that universe no longer exists.
Yeah, but in that universe, Doc Brown died. He was shot dead.
Yeah, in that universe. See, Marty changes. It's that whole tangent universe thing. Like they might as well be living in a tangent
Don't
1985.
you get stuck
It just
in
worked
a
out.
paradox loop, though, where it happened before? It's just we didn't see the beginning of the movie. We just saw like a middle point in what would just keep going and going.
Yeah, like that. It's kind of like the architect scene in The Matrix. This is all
Right.
happened. Kind of like it's happened a zillion times. Of all these variations. Sooner or later, Marty gets to a white room where a dude clicking a pen is just like, "You fucked up again. You're supposed to fuck your mother. Now go back and do it."
But now I could shoot that theory to shit. It wouldn't have been the Twin Pines Mall then.
It would be what, the Lone Pine?
It would have been Lone Pine, right? If he would have went through all that shit he went through. Oh,
Yeah.
Let me see.
No, that
Well,
makes sense.
Ah,
That makes sense.
Lone Pine.
Lone
And when
Pine.
he comes back, isn't it Lone Pine Mall?
When he
Yeah,
comes back.
yeah. Yeah.
I hate this fucking movie. I
Jimmy-
fucking hate Back to
Jimmy
the Future.
cannot stand it.
I'm still more interested in the fact that Doc says, if my calculations are correct, then when this baby hits 88 miles an hour, you can see some serious shit, because then he grabs Michael J. Fox, Marty, and he's not sure if this thing is going to happen or not. So he's basically, and he knows that he just stole plutonium from a bunch of Libyan terrorists that are coming to get him. So he knows that he's going to bounce to either the future or the past, wherever he wants to go, if it does work.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't work, he knows that he has Libyan terrorists coming to kill him. So to clean up his little mess that he's made, he figures that he'll commit suicide and drag Marty and the dog into it, so that way no one's left.
So he gets hit by the DeLorean if it didn't disappear.
Exactly. It's just a mess
and
of
Marty
meat.
does. It's dead. It's on video.
And no one understands why, and because at least he doesn't get killed, from a rocket launcher, shot by terrorists.
Kevin
makes
Nealon will
sense
be
to
at
me.
the Stress Factory tonight and tomorrow. 2 shows Friday, 2 shows Saturday. The great Kevin Nealon, 732-545.
Oh, yes.
Ha ha. For
Yes.
tickets in New Brunswick there. You can get there from the city. It's very
Absolutely.
easy.
The great Kevin Nealon. And, of course, Kevin Smith. What's the new movie, Kevin?
Red State. We hope to debut it at Sundance in January.
That sounds
But
fucking
I will
great,
be
man.
bringing-
Michael Parks.
I'll bring the teaser for it. We've been putting up a podcast for it on the Smodcast.com network.
Red is
And, you
good.
can listen. You can listen to the teaser, but I'm bringing the teaser with me to the Westbury show, so we'll show it there as well.
Oh, nice.
Red is good to have in the title of a movie because Reds did well, and then Red just recently.
Yes,
and
of
now
course.
this
Yeah,
one.
they always do great.
Yeah,
have
good
to
colors.
Good color for a title.
I have to piss.
All right, we'll take a break. Kevin Smith, thank you so much for calling in. Kevin Nealon,
Thank
thanks
you, guys.
for popping in. A lot of fun, and we'll be right back.
See you soon.
Sirius XM. The virus. This is the Opie and Anthony Show.